The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.
525, Mark and Paul checking in, getting our stuff together for the broadcast day ahead. 1st of April, 30 degrees. When I was pulling out onto Highway 312, had a little slick spot out there coming off of Dover, and then checked coming through town. I didn't find any slick spots in town, but one or two spots out there might be. Also had just a touch of fog out by me, so getting ready to drive. Look for that. Paul is our unofficial scorekeeper on if somebody of fame has died or not. We played Daryl Singletary in there. Paul said, he's dead, isn't he? I said, I think so. Died unexpectedly at his home in Lebanon, Tennessee, morning of February 12th, 2018. Cause of death never revealed.
That's the way I want to go. That's the way I want to die. I want to die unexpectedly. That's the way I want to die.
I have some good news for you.
Well, good, because I don't want to die knowing it's coming.
No.
I want to die unexpectedly. Go to bed, just, don't wake up.
Mm-hmm.
Dog sits on your mouth and you suffocate or something.
Right.
That's how I want to go.
Right.
I don't want to know. Who the hell would want to know? I wouldn't want to know.
No.
But he was a pretty young fella. He wasn't that old either.
38, I think.
Oh, Jiminy.
46.
Well, that's still young.
Hey, both my dad's mother and grandmother spent double-digit years in homes just waiting, and my dad said, I am not going out like that. And the morning my dad passed, I have no doubt. He said, well, I'm done. I had seen the story, and we talked about it a little bit a couple weeks ago, and then got a call on it Friday. Man camps that once provided housing in Williston during the Bakken oil boom are apparently going to be part of the solution for affordable housing crisis in Billings. They have the opportunity to purchase 200 empty man camp pods to create a new 100-unit housing complex.
Who purchased them, do you know?
Yes. A group called Homefront.
A group called Homefront.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So it must be a private group.
It looks that way, Paul.
Yeah.
Units will have 2 pods connected with a living room, kitchen in the center of each one. So 2 pods will create 1 2-bedroom, 2-bath unit. And I had to go back and see for myself. So I told Paul I drove back there on Saturday night. And you just turn in past the play-in and go across Lake Elmo. And I told Paul from what I saw, I didn't think they could put him there because there's just not, folks, that's cramped. That's going to be, I don't know where people are going to park.
Well, I wonder who owned the lot because they would have to have land to put them there.
Mm-hmm.
They probably have to have sewer hookup, water hookup, that kind of thing.
Homefront has been working since they purchased this land back in the 1990s. They're working with an architect who, quote-unquote, make the smallest footprint of a utility cost. She gave the example of $5 a month for utilities.
Whoa, dreaming. Unless they're subsidizing them.
I'm going to guess that's what it is. No, I hadn't driven back in there, I don't think, ever. And so when I drove, been an awful lot of development back there, some real nice apartment complexes, and other side of the ditch just filled with houses. So,
and those those man camps were set up over there to be temporary housing in the Dakotas, not permanent housing.
You were talking about watching the end of the Duke game. Did you happen to see UConn and Illinois?
No.
That was 2 basketball games. In the first half, back and forth, tied at 23. Second half, UConn went on a 30-point run.
Yeah, that doesn't happen much.
No.
Oof.
No. Mm-hmm. And the way everybody played over the weekend, even most of the ESPN guys are thinking UConn and Purdue.
Oh, well, that's really bold.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's 4 teams left, and they're picking 2.
Yeah, the 2 number 1 seeds.
Well, you guys are experts then. You guys are experts.
Well, and, TV got what it wanted. Got themselves NC State, a little bit of a Cinderella. Like to have 1 or 2 of those in there every year.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a lot of bit of a Cinderella. They weren't even going to get a bid to the tournament unless they won the ACC championship.
Yeah.
Only way they could have got in. The committee that analyzes basketball teams, like these 2 guys on ESPN, they tell everybody who's good and who's not.
Right.
They said NC State was no good and they would not get in the tournament unless they won.
Right.
And now look at them. See, that just goes to show you. You just, you don't know. That's what makes a tournament so good. My kids went to a Final Four, the one that was in Indianapolis.
Remember that?
Yeah, they went. Duke won it, I think, that year that they went. So this one's in Phoenix. I don't know how they pick those either. I don't know if there's a bidding process or how they do it. It's kind of like state championships in Montana. They rotate them around and different venues get the different classes.
Okay, it's not just drawing names out of a hat.
And just like the Super Bowl now, you won't see the Super Bowl ever played in snowy conditions ever again.
No.
Either an indoor stadium or a warm weather venue. That's what they do. And if they do pick a warm weather venue, they pick one that has a roof on it to where if it's pouring down raining, they can close it.
Well, yeah, that game for what you're charging for ticket, that game's got to go on.
Oh, yeah.
You have to meet all of the NCAA specifications from a seating capacity standpoint. The minimum is 10,000 seats to a variety of amenities like suites, boxes to ensure the media and press conferences have accommodations and there's still plenty of room for fans. Must also reach out to area hotels.
Well, then we could have the Final Four here. I mean, we sell out events all the time. We got 10,000 seats.
Yeah, we do.
So,
God, the way they're throwing hotels up around here, we got to have enough rooms.
Mm-hmm. Big money. It's big money in it now. So now the athletes, college athletes, they're in commercials.
Making money off their likenesses.
Yep. So why Nick Saban got out, folks, said college sports has changed for the worst. And he said now it's about money. The kids are, they're worrying about marketing themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And John Calipari, the head coach of Kentucky, whether you like the guy or not, he's smart. He understands basketball. And when they got beat in this tournament, they were talking to him in an interview, and Calipari said, well, we have to sit down at Kentucky and because basketball has changed. And he said, we have to decide what we want to do at Kentucky. Do we want to be the place where we prepare kids for the NBA and we are basically an NBA farm club and all of our players stay 1 year and they all go into the NBA and we're preparing these kids and they're moving to the NBA and then they may have lucrative contracts and they make millions. Do we want to be that school? Or, he said, do we want to be a school that develops players, a program, and competes for an NCAA championship?
Right.
He said, we have to go back and decide what we want to become because they're always in the tournament, but they're all freshmen. They never have the experience and know what it takes at that level to advance in these games. You'll notice all these other teams that are there, UConn, NC State, Purdue, and who's the other one? Alabama. These guys have seniors, juniors on their team, 6-year players on their team.
I was going to say, I saw the schematic on NC State last night. 4 of the guys have graduated.
Yes.
And 1 guy was a 6th-year senior.
Yeah, see, that's how you win championships, and they know that. And college coaches know that. You need that kind of experience, and so John Calipari said, is that what we want? Do we want to do that, or do we want people to come here, play for me, learn the skills, refine their skills, and then move on to the NBA and make millions? They have to decide.
Right.
So there was only one other team that I remember that ever made it there with, and that was Michigan when they had the Fab Five.
Right.
But they stayed.
Yeah.
Remember, they stayed then, and then they won a national championship because they got beat by Duke when they were the Fab Five. But they still stayed. They went. They experienced the tournament. They knew what it took, but they stayed. And now with this portal that they have, and you can recruit players, they can leave and play right away. It's become a different game, a different animal. So Nick Saban got out, said have to have a program and develop these kids, have them buy in, and whereas some of the major football powerhouses, you take Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson, Michigan, teams like that, Notre Dame is a little different because it's a private school. But you take these other powerhouses and you bring in these great freshmen. And when you bring them into their program, they increase their size, their strength, their speed, their training, their knowledge of the game. They may not play until they're a junior, but they're developing. The younger classmen, that's their farm team. But now they come in. If they don't play as a freshman, then they leave in the portal. They'll go somewhere else where they can start at Missouri, or they can start at Rutgers, or they can start out in Washington Washington or someplace like that when they're a sophomore. Whereas in the other big programs, they're not quite ready yet because they have so many elite players that they have brought up through their system. So they leave.
Right.
And your whole way of doing things has changed then. Guys like Saban and these other guys, where they develop the young players, they bring them up. Then when they get into that junior and senior, then they're ready to elevate into that level. But these guys, they just leave. They'll go somewhere else where they can play immediately then. And so they lose that farm system. They lose all those. They're putting all that time, effort, training, money into these players. They get them to that level and they vacate. And Saban said, I'm done with that. They're chasing dollars. And he said it's just he didn't want anything to do with it anymore. So it's changed. It's changed. And, there's even people that do that in the high school ranks. Not so much here in Montana. But in larger areas, back where I was from and stuff, they did that all the time. A lot of the good football players went to Moeller High School. It was one of the, that's where Jerry Faust from Notre Dame came from. He came from Moeller High School when he coached there. But they would go to Moeller High School to play football because they would get the exposure to colleges there. And so it's changing. It's just changed a lot. It's almost become like that now in the workforce. Because there's such a shortage of workers out there, you can, and the workers know that, they can go to an employer and they can hold them hostage and say, well, I can go work at this place or that place and make this amount unless you're going to pay me that. And then they lose their workers. Right. And the quality of worker that we have now, if you find a good one, folks, you should do everything you can to keep them. I went to a place over the weekend. And I had to buy some milk replacer, because I got that twin. And, oh, God, I had another heifer calf last night when I went out. And I checked in. Great mom, licking it, cleaning it. And it was probably only about a 65-pound calf. And I'm thinking, man, you still don't have another twin. I already got one on bottle feed. I don't need another one. And she didn't, which worked out good. But anyway, I needed some milk replacer. And so I came in Saturday and I bought another bag. And I set it at the counter, and gal was working there, probably, I'm guessing, 20 years old. And I said, hi. And she didn't say anything. And $49.99. That's what she said. Mark, I'm about, oh, God. You know how that drives. You too, though. It drives you nuts.
It does.
And I'm thinking, okay, you're at the customer desk here. You are actually having a conversation with all of the people that come through this store and buy things. Mm-hmm. Not the guys back walking up and down the aisle, who are helping people. Can I help you find something? The people at Ace Hardware.
Oh, yeah.
They're great. Yeah. They're just awesome. I love those stores.
That'd be a good spot for you to work if you weren't farming.
Ace Hardware?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love working there. Let me tell you about the Saver shower head. All right, this is going to save your marriage. $49.99. I put my card in and I sign it. You want your receipt? Yes, please. Thanks. So, 2 words, $49.99 and thanks. Mark?
I know. Ann was probably back on her phone before you were in your pickup.
I should have texted her.
Yeah.
Have a nice day. Smiley face with a kiss lips and a heart or something. God dang it, Wilson.
I know.
What's wrong with people? They don't know how to communicate anymore.
No, you're right. You're right. Paul, the phone's for that, too.
And those people, well, this place isn't paying me what I deserve. Mm-hmm. It's awful. It's awful. Well, and today in California, $20 an hour now for all fast food workers in California. Starts today. Imagine that, $20 an hour. Just think of that, folks. Now, these fast food places in California, as of today, they have raised their prices.
Well, you have to.
On today. I heard a story this morning on the way in, national news story. Some woman was saying, yeah, we used to go in and they had this little kids thing, and it was $2. And she said, today it's $10. Imagine that, folks. Goofy-ass Newsom holds a gun to their head, and the people in California, $20. Giving them more financial security to historically low-paying profession. Yeah, but a low-paying profession like that's not supposed to be a full-time gig.
No.
It's a stepping stone. It's a part-time job. It's for younger Democrats, if you really want to call them that, passed the law last year. $500,000 for fast food restaurants. That includes immigrants like Ingrid Villario, who said she started working at McDonald's shortly after arriving in the United States. Fast food was her full-time job job until last year. She works about 8 hours a week in a Jack-in-the-Box and works her other jobs. $20 is great. I wish I would have come in sooner. What does that tell you? Hope she's paying taxes. The law was supported by their trade association. Many franchise owners, though, have bemoaned the impact. Alex Johnson owns 10 Annie Annie's Pretzel and Cinnabon restaurants. They're around San Francisco, 10 of them.
Mark your calendar for some great events coming to the Roadside Event Center next to the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley. Join them for dinner and music Saturday, April 6th with Man and Tan and Mississippi Pot Roast. Tickets are $30 and available at the Blue Cat Bar. On April 12th, don't miss Kellen Smith and the Nate Champion Band. Live music continues with Clay Halos on Saturday, April 19th. Remember their amazing prime rib on Fridays and loaded Bloody Marys on the weekends. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, just 9 miles east of the Metra exit.
He said sales slowed anyway in 2024, so he had to lay off some staff and rely on his parents to help with payroll. Increasing his wages to $20 an hour at his restaurants, just the increase will cost him $470,000 each year.
My God.
Okay, just for the few employees that he has. So he's got to raise prices at least 15% at his stores, and he's no longer hiring anymore. He said, now I have to either consider selling or closing my business. The profit margin has become so slim when you factor in all the other expenses that are going up. And, you know, in California, you have mandatory medical insurance coverages, all that horse crap. So, and you know, workers' comp, unemployment insurance, it's probably costing him $30 an hour for every employee.
Sales tax.
So, see, that's one of the C's. That's one of the C's that Democrats hate. Capitalism. Mm-hmm. They hate that. They want to control every part of capitalism. Wages, inventory, what you sell, hours, benefit, everything. They hate cap. Well, you know what? They hate another C because look what they did yesterday, National Transgender Day, and they did that on Easter. Mm-hmm. Christianity. That was a slap in the face to Christians yesterday. They did that on purpose. They could have picked any other day.
Right.
That's another one they hate. Christianity. Capitalism, Christianity. They hate that one. One of the most sacred holidays for Christians around the world, and they did that yesterday. They could have picked another day that, say, was a landmark date that the Supreme Court ruled on or something that gave rights to people or something. They didn't have to pick Easter Sunday. Now, sure, Easter changes every year, but still, one of the C's they hate. Capitalism's one. See, they mandate how just by doing this is an attack on the free market system, capitalism, supply and demand, best workers, pay based on merit, performance, all that. That is out the window. We don't do that anymore. We're a bunch of government maggots, and what we are going to decide everything for every human being.
Getting to be that way.
Best baseball players get the most money. Mm-hmm. That's how it works. Oh, they don't touch that one. You know, they don't touch that one. No, that's different. Hollywood, the best actors get the most money. Look what we've done to education. Teachers are all make the same. Mm-hmm. You could have a guy that's teaching at Skyview math, and he could have some of the best test scores of any teacher around. That guy should be getting more money based on merit, not just years. He's there 7 years, so he stepped. He's got a BA and an MA in math, so he stepped, and this is what he makes. And he'll make the same as a 7-year-old teacher that has a BA and an MA in math who teaches at another high school, and his kids can't even follow the 3 is a magic number song. Still gets paid the same, Mark.
Yeah.
Not the way it should be.
No, it should be merit.
Right, exactly. $20 now. You could have a worker in the fast food industry who you would pay $30 an hour to keep him. The guy's there every day, takes extra hours, is a cooking son of a gun, loves his job, there every day. He might be able to make $30. And what that does is it shows everybody else that if you do a good job and you're efficient and you can see progress, you will be elevated quicker. That's capitalism.
Right.
Nope. Everybody's the same. Whether you sneak into the country and swim across the river or whether you were born there, go to school, whatever. Same. Got to be the same. Got to be the same. Part of that equality thing. Equality is ruining service and everything else in America.
I agree.
It should all be based on merit, achievement, progress, hard work. 3. Plus, things like tenure. Once you get it, you're in.
Yeah.
You're in. I don't care what your scores are or how your kids are doing. Doesn't matter.
No.
We'll just keep moving you around. It's terrible. Hope you folks had a chance over the weekend to listen to the podcast of all the numbers that we went over from the CDC and their survey of Montana high schools. Remember, we went over that Friday morning?
Right.
About depression, about weapons in the school, how many kids are bullied, how many kids have been approached by somebody who has a weapon inside of the school. It was like 30% in one of the districts. It's awful. The source, what cell phones have done, all of the evidence that any school board anywhere in the state of Montana could possibly want. All the evidence besides what we've told you over the last couple years. Everything from some other source, so you don't have to listen to a couple a-holes on the radio. You're not going to dictate. You don't know. You're not educated like we are. All this kind of stuff. Great. Whatever. Everything that you wanted to know from one of your gods, from government, CDC, was all there.
That's right.
Showing you an obvious answer about cell phones in school, social media in general, everything that you wanted, how it leads to depression, bullying, all kinds of stuff. It was all there. And yet, the smartest people in the world who are running our school boards, who are supposed to be so much smarter and educated more than us, still say no. We're not going to ban those. Some schools are. We gave you all the information about Delta High School in Utah. They did it. Their scores went from below national average to above national average in just 1 year. Folks, that's progress. When you go from below to above average in just 1 year,
and you can cite the cause.
that's right. So don't listen. You're responsible. School boards, in my opinion, then, are the ones responsible for poor performance. You know, we're always trying to look at something that we're blaming poor test scores on. The pandemic. Oh, God, how many times did we hear that? You know, all this kind of stuff that we hear blaming, but it's never the school board's fault.
No, it's not.
Is it, Mark?
No.
Never. A poor test score is not the school board's fault, and you're in charge of hiring the people running the schools, the teachers, your programs. Never their fault. No, never. And you have the power to clean it up. I'll give you another article that I found today. 4 of the largest school boards in the Canadian province of Ontario have now all filed lawsuits against TikTok, Meta, Snapchat, all alleging that these social media platforms are disrupting student learning. Hello? Attention. Dumbass school boards out there. Are you listening to this? Did you read the CDC report? This is Canada. One of the most liberal places in the world is Canada, folks. And even they know that these social platforms and these phones are disrupting student learning. Not my words. Right here in AP this morning, I found the story. The lawsuit said Facebook and Instagram are designed for compulsive use. They have rewired the way the children are thinking, behaving, and learning. And teachers have been left to manage the fallout. Hello, school boards, are you listening to this? The school boards that are suing are the Toronto District School Board, the Peel District School Board, the Toronto Catholic District School Board, and the Ottawa District School Board. They are now seeking damages from these companies in excess of $4 billion. Are you ready? School boards, do you have the crap washed out your ears? The disruption for student learning in our educational system. Mark, I can keep giving people this black and white information, solid information, and yet your school boards, folks, they don't give a rat's. They're going to do it their way. We're in control. This is government. We're doing it, and that's final. Folks, you got to vote them out of there.
Yeah, no kidding.
They are ruining your child. Well, it comes from parental control at home and this. And, okay, great. But you can also set rules. You know, parents, I had rules as a parent. You have rules. And schools also have rules. There's nothing wrong with rules that they follow at home and they follow at school. You make the decisions. And then we had that ding-a-ling that texts, well, my kid is having a cell phone because I need to be in touch and contact with my kid all the time. No, you don't. Then you need to teach your kid at school or at home so you're always in constant contact with your kid then. Your cell phones is what's making it a problem for your kid to achieve his educational goals.
Mark your calendar for some great events coming to the Roadside Event Center next to the Blue Cat Bar and Grill in Huntley. Join them for dinner and music Saturday, April 6th with Man and Tan and Mississippi Pot Roast. Tickets are $30 and available at the Blue Cat Bar. On April 12th, don't miss Kellen Smith and the Nate Champion Band. Live music continues with Clay Halos on Saturday, April 19th. Remember their amazing prime rib on Fridays and loaded Bloody Marys on the weekends. The Blue Cat Bar and Grill, just 9 miles east of the Metra exit.
It's diverting his attention. Your cell phones are what's messing with your kids' minds while they're at school, where the bullying take place, where all kinds of things happen. According to this CDC report, that school boards was also in there. Did you read that? They don't take action. And this isn't the last one that's going to come, folks. We're going to get articles like this every day. More and more from school districts and things all around the country that know now what the problem is. A lot of it, not all of it,
no,
but they know what a lot of it is. And they won't take action. They won't take action. Even our school district 2's own superintendent, when he was in there, I asked him about it, and he said he's not against ruling out cell phones.
Right.
It's got to come from the school board. And when you got crazy people that have been warped their whole life, even the old ones like Karen Moses, who used to be up there. Oh my God. Worst thing for education ever. Look what her husband did with all these goofy ass rulings that we had to put up with. Votes matter. And then parents go in and they want to know why their kids aren't doing well. Mm-hmm. Well, why are their math scores bad? Why aren't they reading? Why have we dropped ACT requirements to colleges? Because they don't know what the hell they're doing when they come out of school. And then you go to the counter where I went and they don't even know how to greet you and talk to you. Mm-hmm. Their social interaction skills have gone down the tubes. There's another shooting over the weekend. I can't remember where it was at now. Not here, but some other place. Guy shot.
Oh, he shot and killed one and wounded 4 others.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Yeah. And you know what? The guy was a repeated felon that a rogue judge let out again. Yeah, let out again. The people that were trespassing at the Capitol, though, their jail terms are not being forgiven. Trespassing.
Right.
A misdemeanor. But we got these felons. You know, they buried the New York policeman over the weekend that was shot last week. 35 felons between those two that were in that car. 35! And the judge, they're on the street. These people that are in control. People that are running our judges, people running our educational system, school board people. These people were all in charge.
Right.
They have the power, folks. They're the ones making these decisions. All of them. Parents are going to have to start taking more control. That's all there is to it. You make
well, but that group, like you always talk about, it's like voters, Paul. A third care, a third don't, and the other third are somewhere.
They have
in the middle.
no idea what's going on. You're right. You're exactly right. But article after article, study after study, report after report, coming in from all over, and yet no action. Doesn't matter. No action. And you got to get the people who want to run, who want to change it. You got to get them in there. Mm-hmm. A lot of people don't want to deal with it. I get it. In fact, we have someone coming in this morning running for Congress again on the Eastern District. There's about 8 people running for that now. So we're going to give him an opportunity to introduce himself, and just so you know, your options out there. But because, I'll tell you, I kind of keep a little watch on this kind of stuff. And I didn't know this gentleman was running. No. But he's running.
Right.
And so we're going to give him some time and talk to him a little bit, just so you know, just so you hear the name, know of an option. We'll do that today. We got more PBR tickets coming up. We got those. This is, Billings is now the longest stop on the PBR tour.
Longest running?
Yeah, consistently, come back every year.
Right.
I would have never guessed that. I would have thought maybe Denver, Cheyenne, something like that. But they've been coming to Billings now for more consecutive years. And the weather's going to be good for this week till we get to the weekend. And we get to the weekend, we have a chance for some more showers again. So, which is all right. You know why, Mark?
Because we need the moisture.
We need the moisture, yeah.
Has this been a great year for you?
Yeah. Oh, It's kind of cold and damp over the weekend, though. It's just, I bet you were snuggled up quite a bit there, huh?
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Oh, and in 2 weeks when the Masters starts.
That's not just a 2-day weekend. That's 4 days where you don't need to bother calling my phone.
That's right. There's 4 days there where there will be no lunch dates whatsoever. A tradition unlike any other. Masters, CBS. Hello, friends. It's snooze time. The Rockies.
Well, I'm assuming Jim Nance is still doing this. He didn't call any basketball games this year, though.
Well, you know why?
No.
Look, I only do the Final Four. I'm not going to travel to some of these other podunk regional things, and because I'm an announcer unlike any other. And I'm sure he'll do the Final Four.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we'll get rolling here. First news coming up, 6:11.
The Breakfast Flakes podcast brought to you by the Blue Cat Bar and Grill, next to the Roadside Event Center in Huntley. The Blue Cat, it's where it's at.